Showtime!
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats.
Showtime!
Please make your way to your seats. The show is about to begin.
Showtime!
Let the magic begin.
Physicists finally find a problem that only quantum computers can solve. It says can do, so I'm not really sure why it's using that specific wordage.
Spoiler alert, it has like the only problem that quantum computers can solve is quantum problems. So for years, just to kind of give you some background, researchers have been on a quest to find a problem that can definitively demonstrate the superiority of quantum computers over classical machines, which is a concept known as quantum advantage. The search has been challenging as, to be honest, and we talked about this earlier in an earlier podcast, classical computers have proven remarkably adept at many computational tasks, and we found ways to push them further. So and we won't get into Peter Shor's quantum algorithm, but he had a quantum algorithm for factoring large numbers in 1994. That was a significant milestone, but its applicability was narrow, and the possibility of classical computers eventually finding an efficient factoring method remained. So just leave that there. So now there's a team led by theoretical physicist John Preskill from Caltech. He might have, which he's saying he might have finally cracked the code. What he's done is, by studying the energy landscapes of quantum systems, they might have identified a specific useful problem that's easy for quantum computers to solve, but remains very difficult for classical computers. The problem revolves around determining the local minimum energy state of quantum complex systems, a crucial challenge in fields like chemistry, material science, and quantum physics. So the thing is while finding the absolute ground state has proven intractable for classical and quantum computers, what they've done is they've discovered that locating the local energy minima could actually be a task where quantum machines excel. So what they've done is they've leveraged newly developed quantum algorithms for simulating quantum thermodynamics, and they've been able to devise a method for quantum computers to efficiently determine these local energy minima. So why it's truly remarkable is that it's a problem that is unlikely to be dequantized by future classical algorithms. So this is one where even if we push the computers further and further and further, the classical computers shouldn't be able to solve this.
We're always talking about quantum versus classic computers, and whether we're going to get to an interesting place with quantum or not, because to me quantum means certain things, and like calculating all the possibilities between 0 and 1 is great, but why?
Yeah.
Why do we to get to that point? So let's start with, what are some potential applications of quantum computers in, say, a field of material science?
Yeah. So there's quite a few, and I won't get into too many details because it just, again, when we talk about quantum, I don't want to lose viewers by talking about these huge quantum concepts, right? But again, this is all quantum related. So modeling and simulation of quantum materials is one, where many materials exhibit properties that arise from quantum mechanical effects, such as superconductivity and strong correlated electron systems. So classical computers, they struggle to accurately model and simulate these quantum materials due to the exponential scaling of computational resources required. So this is where quantum computers can help, is the computational resources required. Essentially, for quantum computing, it's infinite. So they can handle when the scaling becomes large, right? So quantum computers can efficiently simulate these systems by leveraging quantum effects like superposition and entanglement. That's how they're able to um, to handle the scalability there. Some other examples are quantum chemistry calculations. So for complex molecules and materials, catalytic processes, bond formations, different things like that. That's where that could be used. Materials optimizations and discovery. So it could be used to optimize the properties of materials by exploring vast computational spaces of compositions, structures, processing conditions. Quantum machine learning for material science, simulating phase transitions and dynamics, quantum sensing, quantum cryptography and secure communication. So this is one we've talked about in the past. So again, I think in one of our podcasts we talked about quantum encryption at one point, and they proven it. That's for shopping or something, but I can't remember. But quantum computers can enable secure communication and data transitions through cryptography. Wow, I'm having a hard time saying that. So again, there's a bunch of potential applications. Again, and this is all. A lot of these are still. Most of these are still theoretical, right? So
Yeah, we did unhackable shopping on the quantum internet was the
that's
article
it.
we were talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how do quantum computers simulate the quantum thermodynamics to determine the local energy minima?
Yeah, so they can simulate quantum thermodynamics and leverage that capability to determine that through an approach that was developed by Anthony Chen. But here's just a quick high level explanation. So I'm not going to get into too much detail because I don't even understand a lot of it. But so they're simulating quantum thermodynamics. That's the first step. Then they what they're doing is they're annealing and local minima. So one of the key applications of simulating the quantum thermodynamics is to study the energy landscapes of quantum systems. The thing is, many quantum systems, especially complex ones like spin glasses, exhibit rugged energy landscape with multiple local minima. So when such a system is cooled, it tends to settle into one of these local energy minima rather than reaching the global ground state. So what they're doing is they're trying to understand these local minima to predict the properties and behavior of the system. The next step is a quantum approach to local minima. So, by carefully controlling the cooling process and exploiting quantum effects like tunneling and superposition, the quantum algorithm can efficiently explore the energy landscape and coverage to a local minimum state. And then the final one is quantum computers on the can leverage quantum parallelism and other quantum effects to efficiently explore these vast state spaces. And this is where we're talking about the scalability, right? So um, again, we have to note that all of this is theoretical, and they're theoretical foundations, and they're trying to lay these theoretical foundations down. But through these tests and these theories, um, they're demonstrating that this quantum advantage could happen, but there's still challenges to that, if that makes sense. Oh, I think you're on mute, Craig.
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, there's challenges to all these things, and we talk about
Yeah.
quantum, and still trying to figure out, where they're going to get the value back on quantum computing as everyone rushes for quantum superiority at a country or computer technology level.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to see the question: is there going to be such thing as quantum superiority? Because are there problems only quantum computers can solve? And we're coming to some of them, but they're only quantum problems. So, can you explain the concept of quantum advantage in more detail?
For sure. Yeah. So again, I'm not an expert. This is just from me doing research and learning myself. So it's a fundamental goal in the field of quantum computing, and it's important to understand. So quantum advantage, also known as what you said, quantum supremacy. What is it? It refers to the ability of quantum computers to solve certain computational problems significantly faster than classical algorithms running on the most powerful classical computers. So in other words, it's the demonstration of clear computational advantage that quantum computers have over classical computers for specific tasks. Now, the thing is to achieve quantum advantage, what they need to do is they need to identify problems that are intractable for classical computers, even with the most advanced algorithms and hardware. These problems should be able to be solved efficiently on a quantum computer by exploiting the unique properties of quantum mechanics. And I talked about that earlier, like superposition, entanglement, and even quantum parallelism. So it's a belief, right? So the pursuit of quantum advantage is driven by the belief that there are certain computational tasks that are fundamentally better suited for quantum computers. Now, achieving that is a significant milestone in the development of quantum computing, because what that would do is it would demonstrate the practical utility of quantum computers. Because right now there's all these theories, there's all these different things that are theoretical, that are unproven, and that just aren't feasible, aren't practical, right? And so there's this rush, a race to get to that, to prove quantum advantage, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to ask another question. For stuff like this, how long does quantum advantage actually last? Because as soon as they kind of figure out what to measure, how to measure it, and all the properties in between, they'll be able to throw it on a classical computer saying, hey, you measure this light and you measure this heat and you measure this at this level, you'll be okay. But it takes a quantum computer to kind of figure out the stuff at that level.
For sure. But the thing is, right, is once you have those parameters or those metrics, that's only for one specific use case. So you're still going to need quantum to evaluate the plethora, what's the word I'm looking for? The permutations of combinations of potential solutions, where it would take a classical computer probably years to figure out all of those different permutations, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you may have covered this, but why do we care about the minimum power state?
Why do we care about the minimum power state?
Yeah,
Oh,
like the
yeah. So we care about the minimum power state because it could lead to breakthroughs in drug design, energy storage, different things like that. So we're talking about local energy landscapes. So if we're talking drug design, right? So understanding the local energy landscape of biomolecules such as proteins and enzymes, it's really crucial for developing effective drugs. And the three-dimensional structure and behavior of these biomolecules are heavily influenced by their energy landscapes, which determine, and we talked about this before, their folding, but we didn't talk about binding affinities and interactions with potential drug molecules. So by using quantum computers, we can determine the local energy minima of these biomolecular systems and gain insights into their confrontational dynamics and potential binding sites, which could be used to design more potent and selective drugs that target specific or binding pockets, right? So the other thing is energy storage, if we're talking about this. So in the field of energy storage, and we've talked about this many times, like batteries and stuff, advanced battery technologies rely heavily on the understanding of energy landscapes of electrode materials and electrolytes. So quantum computers could be used to accurately model the energy landscapes of electrode materials such as lithium ion compounds or other solid state electrolytes, which exhibit complex quantum behaviors. By identifying the local energy minima and transition pathways, they could design materials with improved ionic conductivity, higher energy densities, and longer lifetimes, if that makes sense. And let's just talk about my favorite thing, hydrogen storage. So determining the local energy landscapes of materials that can reversely absorb and release hydrogen can be crucial for developing efficient and safe storage solutions. So quantum computers could help identify materials with optimal binding energies and kinetics for hydrogen uptake and release. So there's those are just a few examples. But again, a lot of this, and I'll be completely honest, a lot of this research that I did went over my head, and I had to do a lot of extra reading for this one because this is really complex. And when it comes to quantum, anything quantum, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, quantum thermal, like you throw out everything that you've learned in school. Every single concept is now broken, and so it's really difficult to wrap your head around these new quantum concepts and quantum theories and things like that.
Definitely.
But really interesting.
I struggle a little bit to get some of my head around some of these things because
Yeah.
for the most part, one, it's either magic and predicts the future, it can do anything, or it's smoke and mirrors. So I'm trying to figure out which it is, right? Or
Yeah.
is it just a next evolution? Because governments and companies are spending billions and billions on creating these things. And we talked last week around they the $5 million X prize to figure out the quantum question of
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
Um, so this is all leading down the same path of like, okay, we're doing all this work and we're spending all the money, but we better find some good uses for this, or the money might dry up soon. I feel like that's what's happening.
I honestly don't think the money will dry up because of the race. Like the second that you can come up with a practical quantum computer, the first person of that is gonna it's gonna be is they're gonna take over the world essentially, but not really. But like to have that practicality, to have that computer that can pretty much hack into any system, that can do anything like that, like that power is crazy.
Yeah, this is very cool technology, and we know some companies in Canada that are working on different aspects of the hardware. How do you think the rapid progress in the quantum hardware development will impact the experimental demonstration of a quantum
Yeah.
advantage?
So I think it'll have a profound impact because it addresses one of the key bottlenecks in this pursuit. So achieving quantum advantage requires not only the identification of a suitable computational problem, but the development of efficient quantum algorithms, but also, this is the key part, is the availability of sufficiently powerful and reliable quantum hardware. Now, we talked about this before where the error rate of quantum computers currently is ridiculous. And so that's going to be a big problem. So without quantum computers large enough and with enough computational capabilities, it becomes impossible to demonstrate the superiority of quantum computers over classical approaches. Um, but in recent years, obviously, we've witnessed some advancements in the development of quantum hardware. Um, and we've got companies like Honeywell, IBM, I think Google has one, that are racing um, to build a larger, more sophisticated quantum computer. So I think a few years. Oh, IonQ is the other one too. So the advancements in quantum hardware are not only limited by just increasing the number of qubits, but they're going to need improvements in qubit coherence times, gate fidelities, big one here, error correction techniques. Those are going to be crucial for the reliability and accuracy of quantum computations. So, um, as it here's the thing, right? We're in this race, just like back in the day when computers first started being developed and started being more mainstream and started being tested. We had a computer with the computational power way less than your cell phone, which took up a huge room. That was one of the first concepts, right? So we're at that stage still.
This is really cool. We like to stay on top of quantum here. Is there anything else you want to add before we run off to the next thing?
No, quantum is cool. Quantum is great. But just when if you're interested in it, just realize that anything you've learned to date, throw it out the window.
We know that you work with tech companies to help them get government funding and navigate the fun world of being a startup here in Canada. Anything you want to add to that, and where can people go find out more if they have questions about, funding and want to talk to you?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, send me a message on LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn. Very easy. John Irwin, no H. And I'm happy to have a discussion. Happy Craig and I work very closely together. So if there's something that I feel Craig might work better with you on, I'll definitely pass them your way. But if you have any questions on non-dilutive government funding, hiring grants, training grants, shred any tax credits or any kind of grants, feel free to reach out to me.
And if any of you listening, the audio or video is breaking up, we do separate local recordings. It takes a while to come out, but the audio will be pushed out on the podcast. We push it out. We're about 2 weeks behind when the podcasts come out. We're just from the timeline point of view, but we'll get great audio and stuff there. Check out all of our stuff. We help entrepreneurs. We do events. We were just talking about last night. We were at Startup Drinks TO. We were at CIX after party. We had 100 people out. There was about 20 investors in the room. It was a great time. It's open pitch, open bar. Check out startupdrinksto.com. The next one will be April 25th, and that'll be posted by the time you're seeing this. I work with startups all the time. If you're stuck in your business and you don't know where to go and you want to move forward and you're frustrated, book a discovery call. Go to startupcoach.ca. It's absolutely free. We can chat about how I can help you and how to get unstuck and actually turn your business into a profitable, successful, and a happy place for you to work. Check out our stuff at TorontoStarts.com. Thanks for watching us today.